Hi guys, Mike here from Firemasters. Today we're back at the Savannah kitchen with the kitchen's creator, Guy, and today we're going to be walking you through how to smoke a cut of meat using our new product, our authentic whiskey barrel wood chips.
So today we've got a half saddle of venison. It's from the venison guys. So we're just going to trim this up, put a bit of scoring on there, put in a little bit of the, got a special mix from All Seasons Barbecue, the juniper twist specifically for the venison. We give that a bit of a rub season. We're going to put that on the smoker for a while. We'll take that off, get the fillet and the tenderloin out, and we'll sear those over some nice kameeldoring and cirkelbos. And have a bit of a feed.
Sounds good.
Right, so just give this a little bit of a clean. We've got our tenderloin on the inside of the bone, and then we've got a lovely fillet on the outside and a nice layer of fat there which can give us some nice flavour. So we're just going to take off this really tough bit at the end. Trim that off, and just give that a bit of a scoring, let that flavour get in there. I like the flavour of the fat on these. You can take that all off, as you can see. It should give you a nice clean fillet underneath, which you can take off. So if we get that out of the way, go to our All Season Barbecue. Mike sent down this juniper twist for us. This is a bit of a trial, this one. I tried it the other day. It's really, really good with the venison. That fruitiness, the juniper berries is amazing with the fat and the meat. Just put it all over. Ideally leave this for a while just to rest and soak that in. So while our fire gets going, which I think Mike's going to start in a minute, we'll leave that to rest, and then we'll put that on that indirect heat and give a bit of whiskey barrel smoke to that.
That sounds good.
For an hour or so. So Mike, There we go. It's ready for you when you are.
The Scotch whiskey barrels are actually made from American oak. They are put together in America, where they are used for distilling bourbon for a number of years, at which point they're then retired from the bourbon distilleries and exported to the UK. The Scotch whiskey distilleries then buy them and use them to distill their Scotch whiskey, again for a number of years before they exceed their lifespan, at which point we then buy them, bring them down to our facility in Kent and break them up into staves like this. So these are the wooden planks that the barrels are made of, and then furthermore we break them down into actual whiskey chips, and they look something like this. So they're approximately 1 or 2 centimeters in diameter, and you only need a handful for each cook. What you'll do is just take a handful like that, 10 or 15 minutes before you're ready to use them, and you just put them into the water where they'll soak again for 10 or 15 minutes, and at which point you'll then take them out and put them over the coals, and we'll show you how to do that in a sec. Alright guys, while we're letting that cut of meat rest, I'm going to show you how to build the fire for this particular type of cook. This is what we're going to call a smoke. You don't necessarily need an actual offset smoker to do this. Those are, or can be, quite big, and they can also be quite expensive, but all you need is a barbecue with a lid. So this is what we're going to use today. This is just a regular store-bought barbecue. It costs about 50 quid. I think most barbecue beginners will have something like this in their garden. You could also use something like a kettle barbecue, such as a Weber, anything with a lid that can capture the smoke that comes off of the whiskey wood chips. That's what you want. Today we're going to be using the Cirkelbos. This is our Cirkelbos hardwood. It's very dense, 2% moisture content, so it's incredibly dry, and it ignites very quickly and will get up to temperature very quickly as well, and then hold the temperature that you want. So we're not going for an incredibly high temperature today, so we're going to use smaller pieces of wood, and once this fire is going, we will manage the coals in a way that we have some direct heat on one side and indirect heat on the other side, and then we'll show you how to cook the cut of meat. Right, then to light this fire we're going to use our flamers, natural fire lighters. These are really good. They're made out of wood shavings with a little bit of natural wax, and there's no chemical flavor in this at all, which is really what you want when you're going for a cook like this, or any cook. Alright, once your fire is going, there's not much more you can do. You're going to give it at least half an hour for the wood to break down into some good coals. The meat's already prepped, so we'll come back in half an hour and we'll finish the cook. Alright guys, so we know you're a bit of a venison expert. We've eaten here many times before. Why don't you tell some of our viewers a little bit more about the venison, what your favorite cuts are, and how you prefer to cook it?
Okay, well first off, I'd probably be best not say I'm an expert. It's more of it's a hobby that's turned into a passion that it's just a really good source of food for us. And I've been shooting all my life, Mike, as you know, growing up in South Africa and coming over here. I managed to get involved with a syndicate a number of years ago, and we now we've got 2 estates, one here in Kent and one in Essex, that we lease the shooting for. Yes, we pay for it, but at the end of the day it's a management program that we have to do for the landowners, the farmers, and it's just a fantastic source of food. It's something that I think needs to be celebrated a bit more and be made more accessible to people.
So Gart, why don't you talk to us a bit about the flavour profiles that we're going to be experiencing today?
Okay, so something new for us really. As I mentioned earlier, we got the juniper twist from All Seasons Barbecue that we've left on here. It's been on here for about an hour now. Gonna chuck some of your whiskey chips on there. So raw form, if you can call that raw, but you can smell the whiskey on that and the lovely charred oak. So what I do, soak it in a bit of water for a while, just to give it just doesn't burn as soon as you put it on the fire, and that's going to give us a really nice oaky and an essence of whiskey. It's not going to be overpowering or anything like that. So we're going to put that on. It's pretty dry at the moment, so we'll probably baste that sort of halfway through. We're going to leave it on there indirect for I'd say about an hour and a half with the whiskey chips. And we'll take it off the bone, and then we'll sear that over some nice hot coals, I think, and give it a whirl and see how it comes out.
Sounds
like
good.
with all my cooking, it's experimental, right? If it doesn't taste good, you eat it anyway. So let's get that on. So we're doing indirect. I'll put that up there. Thanks, Mike. We've got our soaked whiskey chips. I put them up top if they don't fall through. I'm smoking myself out already, just so that they don't all burn up too quick. So when we put the lid down, it'll give us a nice smoke, and then just drop a couple into the fire itself. Oh, I can smell it already.
You can smell that whiskey coming off the coals.
Yeah, and my arm burning. Right, and then we close that up. The wind's swirling a bit today, but there we go. We got that coming out that end. That's great.
Right, so we're going to close the vent on one side.
Close the vent near
keep
the fire.
the opposite side open.
Perfect.
All right, so we've got the cut of meat in. Whisky chips are in. We've closed the lid. We can see the smoke coming out. What next? How long will you leave that in for?
Oh, we'll leave it, give it about half an hour, I think, and then we'll have a look. It's not beef. We're not doing a low and slow cook for 4 or 5 hours, and it's not going to be fall apart. We're just getting that flavour into the, into that fat and into that little bark on the meat.
Yeah.
And we'll take that off, give it another couple of minutes without the bone on it.
Yeah.
And then we'll put it on the fire and give it a bit of heat and see, get that fat nice and rendered down. It'll be great.
All right, excellent.
So, yeah, just give it a couple of minutes. It'll be good. Right, Mike, I think we need to have a look at our venison. What do you think?
Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, look at that. Beautiful colour.
Yeah, looking good. Right, Mike, let's get that off. Look at that.
Amazing.
Wow. Cool. We'll get that over to the counter. Alright, so we flipped that over, so we're now on the underside, and we're going to just start against the bone. We want to get that tenderloin.
Smells amazing.
Right, so that is going to come out. Look at that. So you go, we'll put that on the fire and finish that off. Now we'll take the fillet, flip it back over, hug the bone again. Look at that. Right. We got most of it off. Right, so what we'll do now, you can see that rub has really got in there. So we'll give that a little bit of a seasoning with some salt, and then we'll put that straight on the fire. Thanks, Mike. Right, let's get that over to the fire, Mike, and get that going. Right, so we've got a really nice hot grill now. Put that
Listen to that
on
sizzle.
Put that there and get some of that smoke from the... I'm going to put this at the back and just roast it off. Right, so we just get a nice char on the bottom of that, so we'll leave that for a while and get some fire in there. This one, we don't want to do too long. Oh, and stick. Right, so Mikey, if we can have the board, I'm going to take that one off and that can be our taster. You really don't want to do this very long. That tenderloin is delicious, like butter. And we'll get that big piece and we'll leave that to go for a little bit longer and get a nice bark on that.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks good. Right, so that's our tenderloin. And now I'm going to bring you the fillet. And that was the top fillet piece. So we're going to let that one rest for a while. We can just leave that there. And let's have a look at this. Now this one is like butter. It is a really juicy and tender cut. I'm going to my fingers. Tongs are ripping it apart.
Yeah.
So you can see that's really well rested. It's gone nice and pink. You can see just on the edges there we're getting a bit of the smoke bark, which is quite nice. You can see it in there. A little bit longer and we would have had a nice dark ring around there, which should have been really good. You can really taste that juniper and that. So really smoky, but that you've definitely got that oaky taste that's coming through. That is really nice.
That's a good combination. The juniper and the whiskey wood chips.
That is really nice. It's just in the background, is that charred, smoky
That's it.
oak, almost like a peaty taste.
Yeah, and it's not overpowering. It's not
No,
overwhelming
but
at all.
it's
It's
just subtle.
Yeah,
Very nice.
and that's the thing. It just adds a subtle flavour.
Very
To
good
the cook.
combination, yeah.
I think so. I'll definitely do that one again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tender cut, so that's going to take on the flavour, but that was, you know, under the bone there, so it'd be interesting to see what comes out on the fillet with having
Yeah.
that fat cap on it.
Oh, okay.
And see what's there.
Well, let's take a look.
So let's have a look at that one. So I'll give it a cut through there. Look at that. You can hear that lovely crunch on the skin.
Oh, yeah.
Still got that bit down there. So with a slower cook and a longer cook, that will eventually break down. There we go.
Looks incredible.
Smells good. You can smell, whether it's in my imagination, but you can smell that oaky
No, you can. You can smell it.
thing coming through.
Oh, should we try it out?
Good doing it, Mark. I need to clean my hands.
Oh, look at that. Nice and pink on the inside. Right.
Put a bit of salt down just in case. The only thing that, when you do a fillet like this, because normally when you take a fillet off the bone, you'd get rid of that silver skin. It's quite gristly. And once you get that off, then you're just left with this. So if I was to take, but you can see there how that stopped the smoke going in.
Yeah.
You see there? But then you go through here, you can see the smoke coming in on the edge.
Yeah.
But that there, it's that I've done fillet for you before where you don't have that on, but with it being on the bone, you kind of don't. You can take it off, but then you lose that fat.
Yeah.
But I guess we could take the fat off.
I like it with the fat. All right, guys. Well, that's about it for today. Guy, thanks very much for showing us how to do this amazing cut of venison.
No worries.
The whiskey wood chips, I think, were a success.
Definitely.
If you guys want to try them out, they're available now on our website, firemasters.uk. And don't forget to give Guy a follow on Instagram at the Savannah Kitchen. Thanks very much, Guy.
All good. No worries. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Till next time.
Yeah.